Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome to Doctor Who Live at MCM Comic Con London. I am your host, Josh Carr, the host of Who Knew, a Doctor Who podcast. It is an absolute honour to be here, and we've got a very, very special treat for you, because we've not just got one Doctor, not two, we've got three. So very, very exciting. There's a precedent for that, of course. So without further ado, let's bring them on. I believe we're waiting for one, so they may join us a little bit later. But first of all, brave hearts, everybody. We've got the one and only fifth Doctor. It's Peter Davison. And next up, we've got, well, probably not the one you're expecting. It's the 8th Doctor, Paul McGann. And fingers crossed, Colin will be joining us a little bit later on.
If that theme tune doesn't bring him over, nothing will. Where is he?
Come on, Colin.
Come on, Colin.
Where are you, Colin? Well, it's a pleasure to be here with you. I hope you're both enjoying MCM this weekend. I assume it's been a very long weekend for you.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Well, first of all, I found out that I was doing this a couple of weeks ago, and I made a big, long plan. That all went out of the window about a week ago, when I watched a certain episode of Doctor Who, The Power of the Doctor. Yeah, so, I mean, it went down a treat.
It did. I mean, it was extraordinary. I didn't believe, really, they could keep that secret for that long.
Yeah, for a whole year. When did you shoot yours?
I only shot mine at the end of the summer, actually. It was quite late on.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Because I did mine this week last year, so a whole year ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you?
And so did Colin, I think. I don't want to speak for him because he's not here, but I think it was about a year
yeah,
ago.
I know I was after everyone else, so I'm not quite
right.
sure. My memory fades. You know?
Was there a reason for that?
Yeah, I was working on something else, like you always
The
are.
best kind of reason, yeah. No, so that was a whole year that we...
Yeah, no, it was like, yes, it was about maybe, yeah, it was a bit later in the year than this, but maybe last year, yeah.
Yeah, and how did it come about? Was Chris? When did Chris approach you for it, and what was your initial reaction when you got the phone call?
Oh, I think we were definitely up for it. So, you know, it's just a very nice thought to have, you know, us lot in it. So, yeah, it was always favourable. There was never a doubt in my mind. I've never tried to distance myself from Doctor Who. You know, we carried on doing Big Finish and audio.
Crashing the stage currently is the one and only Colin Baker, the 6th Doctor.
Making an entrance.
He was at Costa Coffee. Yeah. That's where he was.
Not a moment too soon.
Costa Lotta.
Yeah.
So, in terms of being approached for the Power of the Doctor, did you all discuss it beforehand, before saying yes?
No.
We just hoped the others weren't doing it. It was just us.
I just told these people that it was about a year ago that we did it. So
It was.
So you were like me. It was like last November, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No, we did it.
Yeah.
So we probably would have had one day. You would have gone on one day to Cardiff.
Yeah.
And done that thing.
Went down the night before.
Yeah.
Went to the studio, recorded it.
Yeah.
Met Jodie, had a lovely day.
You met Jodie?
Yeah.
I didn't even meet Jodie. I didn't even see Jodie.
They were worried.
What a swizz.
Well, because Jodie would want to run away with you, you see.
No, Jodie was like, I had to do all my scenes to a little bit of masking tape attached to a brush pole or whatever it was. You know, that's what you do, because it's all green screen.
Well, I did mine with Jodie.
Well, that was going to be my next question. Obviously, Paul, you can't really answer this one, but I was going to say, what was it like working with Jodie, and what's it been like meeting Jodie?
Well, ask him, don't ask me.
It was better than working with Sylvester, I'll tell you that.
Peter, did you film with Jodie?
No, I didn't. I filmed with Janet Tegan. I filmed with Janet Fielding. Yeah. No, I didn't see Jodie. So again, I was down to bits of masking tape and a kind of a stick of wood. Yeah, because as I say, mine for some reason was done quite a bit later. I know that they were they'd all come back because I couldn't do it when I was meant to do it.
Yeah. Well, what was it like filming with Janet again after all of those years? Obviously, I know you've done Big Finish together.
As somebody observed who knows us, they said it was just like us talking in real life because it was her bickering and me bickering back at her. So it was nothing different, really. It was good. It was a poignant moment, the Adric moment. So that was good.
Yeah, it was a lovely, lovely moment, and it was a lovely moment to see all three of you back on screen.
I'm surprised you didn't ask for Janet to be a stick with a bit of tape.
I did.
You might have got a word in.
They insisted on having her there.
Yeah.
She was my agent.
I know.
Yeah, she wasn't she? Yeah,
So
she was your agent.
In fact, Jodie wasn't there when I got there, but Janet was there. So I finally got to work with my agent on Doctor Who.
One of my
Wow. It's
That's
also
two of us.
nepotistic, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like keeping it in the family.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
well,
what
there's
it's
so
like.
many people involved in the show. It's
Yeah.
hard to, spit and you'll hit one, basically.
Yeah, nicely put.
Yeah.
Put.
I've got a
Yeah.
nice way with words.
Yeah. You're never more than 3 feet from a rat. Yeah. Nicely put.
Paul, one thing that has set the fandom alight was the fact that the Eighth Doctor wasn't wearing
finally
robes.
in an episode.
He was finally in an episode of Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Firstly.
It only took me 30 years, folks.
But he wasn't in his robes. He was in his costume. He was in his full get-up. A lot of people were theorising, is that because it's so in character for the Eighth Doctor?
Why are you
or
asking
was
me?
it because of a behind
They
the scenes?
ran out of money?
Why, I don't know what the reason was.
Yeah, no reason.
No, they never told me anything.
Well, it suits the Eighth Doctor, I think.
Because
I don't
there was a
think
bit
he'd
of
go for the
dialogue, wasn't there,
robes.
about it? Who was it with McCoy or? Again, no one was there. I don't know. Again, I don't want to spoil it, right? But like when I went and I did that, I didn't know really what
the scene was.
What the scene
We
was
weren't
going
sent,
to.
you weren't sent the whole episode.
Because you're not sent. They don't send you everything. They send you fragments of the scene or whatever. So I was guessing too. I didn't know.
Yeah.
And that's the way we work anyway. It doesn't matter. And film, you make films and you leave and go back home again, and they make the film when you've left. So that's not unusual. But I didn't really know. What I said, well, why am I saying this? But that's how we work. So I didn't know what the story was even. To be perfectly honest.
Have you seen it now? Have all three of you seen
No,
it? Or
I haven't seen
you
it.
haven't seen it yet?
No.
No.
I haven't seen it either.
Are you likely to watch it?
Have you seen it, Peter?
I've seen it, yes.
Seen it. What did you think?
Are
of
you?
it?
No.
I thought it was very good. I mean, I'm very. As I said, it was extraordinary to me that it was a surprise to everyone. But I kept getting text messages from people. I kept the secret really well, which was amazing for me.
I think though, if all for us, if all you need to do to keep a secret is not say anything, that's the easy bit.
Yeah.
But often these secrets, when there's copies of things on hard drives and there's a chance that something might get leaked, that's a different matter. But for us, it's easy. All we do is don't say a word.
Well,
That's
I
the
adopted
easy.
a completely different way.
Did you?
I went round complaining because I hadn't been asked to be in it.
Oh.
People did ask, but
That's
I would
like
say,
a double agent.
Oh,
isn't it?
that's a
Like
good way. Yes.
I
Yeah.
said,
Reverse psychology.
It's on television soon, and I'm not in it, so I hope the others aren't.
I've got past it. There was a time when I used to watch the Doctor Who with my two boys, and I would have to explain the plot to them of any particular story. And then it got to the point where I think it started with Peter Capaldi, where I would have to say to them, what's going on? And they would have to explain the plot to me. Now, I have to admit, I didn't really understand what was going on in the episode, but it was all very fast-moving and energetic.
It was very fast.
It's complicated.
So if anyone wants to explain it to me at some point, not now, but at some point, it'll
Not
be
now. Maybe earlier in a day. on another day.
Yeah.
But, and obviously, what's it like coming to these conventions and seeing all of these fans come here after all of these years of playing the Doctor and then playing the Doctor on Big Finish and then returning to the role? What's it like coming and meeting all of these people who are here for you?
Yeah.
They're here, sat here right now for you, which was your cue for applause, everybody. And
it's hard sometimes, I think, to keep your feet on the ground because inevitably, when people come along and if they want to see you, then they usually say, "Oh, I think you're absolutely, it's amazing. How you're great, you're fantastic," and so you can get carried away and start believing it's true. But what's been really great, I thought, this weekend, is just how emotionally people reacted to seeing us.
Yeah.
It's been, because normally we get people coming along and they love the classic series, but they're just basing it on seeing the classic series, going back to it. Mm-hmm. And now they had something that they had seen literally last week and had touched them in a way
that's true.
I didn't really anticipate.
Yeah, that's really true.
I keep my feet on the ground because someone comes up to me and says, "Oh, I thought you were wonderful. You're my favourite." And then they go next door to you and they say, "Oh, I think you're wonderful. You're my favourite." And then I hear them going up to Peter, "Oh, I think you're wonderful. You're my favourite." That helps keep your feet on the ground.
or they'll come up and they'll go, "Oh, can I just say you're my third favourite Doctor?"
What?
We love a list.
At least you're on the podium, I always think. Yeah. I'm on the podium anyway. I'm in the bronze medal position. Yeah.
I
It's always
once,
Tennant, isn't it?
I
It's always
once
David
had someone come up to me and say, "You're my sixth favourite Doctor." I was demoted while he was talking to me.
Damned with faint praise.
Yeah, and what I was going to say was we're going to take a couple of audience questions.
Yeah, come on.
So if anyone has any, if you can
You
queue
do the
up,
talking.
There's microphones at the side. Hopefully someone can direct. But if you want to queue up, we'll try and speed run a few. But my final question is it's a very exciting time for the show.
Yeah.
We've just had this big special for the centenary, and now we've got the return of David Tennant, and we've also got the return, the debut of Ncuti Gatwa. What are your thoughts on that? Are you excited to see them?
The son-in-law also rises.
Well, I just can't get rid of him. He's just always there. I thought, I'm in this episode, just me, and then he turns up at the end.
Well, there is actually that very famous picture of you stood behind him with a sign saying, he's not that special. I wanted to make you feel a little bit better, so I thought I'd make you a sign that you could hold up throughout the panel that just says, "I am special." So,
all right, there you go.
There you go.
Okay. I'm going to get into trouble.
Here.
Of course, I would like to point out that the only reason I can get away with this is that he is special. All right? So I feel like I can have a go at him all the time, David. And he takes it in very good spirit. So
yeah. And did you know that he was coming back, or?
I did know that, yes. I did know that because I'm I'm well connected in that area.
Yeah.
I'm well known at home.
Yeah. Is it something? Is that something that you three would consider coming back full time?
Full time meaning what?
A full series. Would you come back for a full
9
series?
months of the year?
Yeah. Cold in Cardiff.
It's a nice thought. I mean, it would be
For about
wonderful
5
for someone to
minutes.
say, "We'd love you to come back."
Yeah.
As as a permanent Doctor. I mean, it's about 1,000,000 to 1 against. So I don't think we really need to bother about it. But the actual reality, you're right, of actually uprooting yourself and virtually living in
For 9
Cardiff.
or 10 months of the year.
Yeah, that might be a bit much, but
Yeah.
Maybe
I don't
not.
know. I don't know. Try it.
Yeah.
Would you please try it? Whoever is producing the show then.
Yeah. Well,
You never know.
maybe we never know. You've been in it very
It's
recently.
a young person's game. Is
Well,
what it is.
they offered it to me first, but I wasn't free.
Well,
Yeah.
before we finish, we're going to quick fire a few questions. So if you want to take to the floor, we've got quite a queue, so we might not get through you all, or get through as many
Well, I
as
was
we
on
can.
the line there.
Yeah, so go ahead. We'll quick fire some questions.
Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, you're not switched on.
Are we switched on?
Is it?
Hello?
Oh, there we go.
Hello.
Hello.
My question's a bit in depth, so I'm going to pass on to the next person if there's not much time. So,
Very kind.
Yeah, well, thank you anyway.
Pass. Okay.
Very generous of you to pass the mic. Maybe next time.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Hello to all of you. Now, you can't choose yourselves, but who is your favourite Doctor?
Oh, your favourite Doctor, Peter. Who would you say?
Well, I mean, I've always said, for me, it was Patrick Troughton. Really, because he was the first regeneration, and if he hadn't pulled it off so brilliantly, we wouldn't be sitting here now. So, I just thought it was a wonderful portrayal. So yeah.
Well said.
Yeah.
Bill Hartnell, because he was the first, and when I was a kid, that's the one.
The original.
I think a lot of us would say that it's often the first one, isn't it?
Yeah.
The one that gets you into it. Yeah, Bill Hartnell.
It depends how you're judging it. I've always said Pat Troughton too, because if that first regeneration hadn't been as masterful as it was, we wouldn't be here. But if you judge on the other criterion of attraction, then it has to be Jodie, because she's the only one I've actually fancied. Sorry.
He has to lower the tone.
He has to lower the tone.
Next question.
Elevate.
Who do you prefer, Peter Capaldi or David Tennant?
Oh.
That's a terribly
Be very
unfair
careful,
question.
Peter.
I can only have one answer to that. Even if it was not true, I would only have one answer to that, so it would have to be David Tennant. Yeah. I mean, Peter Capaldi, don't get me wrong, is a brilliant actor, and I thought he did a fantastic job. But if you asked me to choose, I'm afraid, familial loyalties would have to, I'd have to say David Tennant.
Very diplomatic.
Very, very diplomatic.
Capaldi.
I didn't hear the question.
Capaldi or Tennant?
Jodie.
Well said.
We can fit in a couple more, so...
As we all know, the Doctor travels not only in space, but in time. If you could travel in time, what period of history would you like to visit?
Oh, the classic. Where would you want to go to?
I'll go first then.
Go on, Colin.
I'd like to visit a period in time about 75 years ago and stop Donald Trump's parents from meeting each other.
Yeah.
Next.
That's a good.
Top that, Paul. Top that.
Top that. Don't know. 1840s in Ireland. There you
Wow.
go. Lovely.
That's tough. I've been looking at recently. Someone has put on YouTube lots of these wonderful videos, a film, obviously, when they were done of the Edwardian Britain and late Victorian Britain.
I've seen
and
it.
they've done something.
They've enhanced them and they've
they've enhanced them and they've made them the right speed.
Yeah.
And it just looks amazing.
It's time
and
travel,
so you
isn't it?
really feel like you're suddenly back.
And sometimes they put even little soundtracks
yeah,
on
they
them
put
and sound
soundtracks on,
effects.
and
they're quite eerie, aren't they?
Yeah,
They're
really eerie.
absolutely
So it really
beautiful.
makes me.
Yeah.
I wish I could live back then. And
Oh yeah.
As long as I had a bit of money, of course. Because
Yeah.
I think
Little bit of do re mi.
Yeah.
Little bit of
Yes, you
kel.
don't want to be poor back then.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we've probably got time for one more question. So this will be the last one.
Wow.
Sorry to everybody else in the queue.
Sorry, folks.
What do you do when preparing for the role to make the Doctor your own?
Okay, so what did you do to prepare for the role to make the Doctor your own?
Well, I think, first of all, you're cast to be different. So, in a way, half that job is theoretically done for you if you trust it. I mean, I was not cast to carry on from where Tom Baker left off. We are the same, in theory, the same person. But, so you just have to find a way of making it your own, and it is a nervy thing. The way I did it was not starting with the first episode that went out. Mm-hmm. Actually, the first episode I think it was about my third story that was broadcast. It was the first story that I made. Yeah. So it gives you a chance just to find your feet. But it's a difficult thing because you've got nothing to go on except that you've been cast as you.
Yeah, yeah.
Not a very good answer, but that's the only one I can think of.
When I started, it was because McCoy was in it. Mm-hmm. As well, along with and I knew McCoy anyway. I was a friend of his, so I talked to him. That's what I tended to do.
Yeah.
And it was nervy. It is nervy when you first start, but he was, he held my hand a little bit and gave me a little bit of confidence. That's how I prepared for it.
I remember asking Peter, don't know if you remember this, on that last moment ever, we were there together. I said, have you got any advice, Peter? And he paused before he said, no.
Well, you know, this is a true story. It sounds like something you make up, but it's absolutely true. When I went in to do Regeneration from Tom, we were meant to do it before the tea break, the evening tea break, but we couldn't get it done. So I went up to the BBC bar with Tom, and it was I was very intimidated by him. Yeah. And he said to me, the thing you remember with Doctor Who is, and then he said something, but I didn't hear it. I couldn't hear it in the bar, and I was too embarrassed to say, I'm sorry, could you repeat that? So to this day, I have no idea what his advice about playing the Doctor was.
Well, I think it works out okay. So it went well.
I can imagine Tom watching it now going, but he didn't play it Irish with a limp.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to the three of you. Thank you for joining me, and thank you everybody, for turning up.
For the wonderful weekend.
It's been amazing. So
safe journeys home.
Thank you very much. Thanks for coming along this weekend. It was great. Thank you.
Yeah.